Magavana Melanin. So welcome to my new series where I talk about all about the wisdom of nature. And I have first-hand experience with this because I'm somebody that has been to counselors and I've tried to talk to other humans about my issues that I may have and I may be experiencing. And I always find that I get more comfort, I feel more comfortable figuring out my own issues, and it really helps for me to sit in nature. So a lot of times I will just sit outside and I will get answers from being outdoors in nature. So I thought that I would talk about how each part of nature, each type of plant or tree really helps to bring focus into what it is that I'm looking for and helps me find answers that I'm looking for. So this is going to be my new series on the wisdom that you can find in nature. So I want to talk about trees because trees have been something that I have been always very connected to, and I have always sought out their wisdom in times of need. I would sit outside and just watch the trees move in the wind or look at the trees of where they are. And I want to give you a personal story that actually happened last night because I too am going through a lot of things, as many sensitive people are during these times of great changes. And it has caused a little bit of a dilemma inside of me of trying to figure out, what direction I want to go. Do I want to stand back and be calm and peaceful and not look at what's going on in the world, or do I want to be a seeker of change and reformation? Do I want to use my sight? And we are told in Tolkien, and he warns us with the quote from Gladriel, that seeing is both perilous and good. So a lot of times I struggle with that, as many sensitive people would, and those that are in tune with their intuition. So yesterday I went out late at night and I sat outside of my house, and we live in a tree-lined street, so I can do this. And I just sat on the steps and I looked at the trees around me, and in particular I focused on a tree right in front of me. And I asked for wisdom to come to me from nature and to come through me from the trees. And as I was sitting there, it took kind of a while for me to focus and get into that frame of mind in which I was really connecting to nature and getting answers from it. And as I was sitting there, I realized that the wisdom of the trees is very much as Tolkien suggested in his book about the Ents. The trees are miraculous things on our earth. Some of them are so ancient that they have seen so many ages and eons of humans pass by them. And in one particular instance, this tree on my tree-lined street, because I live in a city, is surrounded on the corner by cement. And it's basically just a dirt hole, plants around it, and cement leading onto a gravel street. And I looked at this tree and I tried to envision all the other trees part of an acre of land that was here way before the civilization even started of mankind. And I started to look back at all these trees, and I noticed that the thing about the tree and the wisdom that it can share and give to humans is that it stands strong and sturdy while everything else changes around it. So the wisdom that I took with it was to always ensure that I am standing for what I believe, and I am always making sure that I stand for what is in my heart and following my heart, and not really concerning myself with what's going on around me, because lots of changes happen, lots of things happen around the trees. Buildings are built around, and new cement kind of enfolds, its space, and it just goes through a lot of changes, or it sees and witnesses a lot of changes. And if the tree is not cut down, it's part of that changing, but it itself does not change. So as a human, we can take that wisdom and we can embrace that wisdom to know that while everything else seems chaotic and changes are happening and we're going through all of these very strange transformations of the human society and species, you yourself do not need to follow that change, or you do not need to change. You can be as stubborn as a tree. Because if that is all of the beliefs, all of the values that you hold dear, all of your integrity and dignity within inside of you that keeps you feeling grounded to who you really truly are, then stand tall, stand strong and proud, and don't let all of the things around you affect you. And that's the way that the tree is. The tree allows things to go on around it, but it still stands tall until it is chopped down to the ground, which is a very sad thing. And then it's replenished if people can put a new acorn in and a tree grows again. But a tree goes through all the cycles of losing its leaves and experiencing all the different season changes, experiencing all the different ages and eras of humans, and yet the tree remains the same, and it just grows stronger and it grows taller, and it doesn't really move. And so the Ents are very much like that in Tolkien, in the sense that all these things happened around them, and the elves taught them how to speak and communicate to one another. And then the elves kind of left them alone, because the elves, during the time of the First Age and the Second Age, there was a war going on. So the ancient forests got left alone. And through that, the trees saw all of the changes happen around them, of the humans, of the elves, of the dwarves. All of these beings on Middle Earth came around them. But the trees stood their ground and knew who they were and didn't really allow that change to affect them. This gave me solace because I was looking for a way of understanding my certain path right now. And so I got my answer from the trees. And if you are ever looking for answers and a little bit more grounding into who you truly are, look to the tree, because the tree has never changed and it remains the same. And while we should be flexible and adaptable and sometimes be able to go with the flow and change, we also should not have to let go of some of the values that make us who we truly are at the core. And that is the way of the tree. So I hope that you take this wisdom from the tree, and it gives you a little bit more clarity into what direction you want to go in your life. And just know that while things around you may change and life events happen and you're going through all of these new transitions and transformations, you at the core, your soul, whoever you are, your essence, never has to change. And you should always stand strong in that, because it's unique and it's perfect and it's here for a reason. So find that solace from the tree to know that you can remain who you truly are while everything else changes around you. And don't let it affect you so much. Be able to blow through the wind, go through the seasons of changes and the cycles, but know deep down inside that you are the same person, and that seeing all these changes going on around you does not really change who you truly are on the inside. So Hannah and Leigh for listening, and I will see you on the next video.